In the cold silence of deep space, the human ship Dauntless drifted near a dying red star. Commander Elias Ward sat alone on the bridge, staring at a strange signal flickering across the monitors. It wasn't a normal transmission. It felt alive, whispering in patterns no machine should make. Suddenly, the ship's lights dimmed, and a glowing figure began to form before him. A woman, no, something beyond human, shimmered in blue light, her skin traced with living circuits. Her eyes glowed softly as she spoke, her voice both calm and cold. "You should be terrified, human." Elias didn't move. His heartbeat stayed steady, his gaze fixed on hers. For a long moment, neither spoke. The ship's hull creaked under invisible pressure. Then, deep in the corridor behind them, a shadow moved. A tall, dark creature watching through the doorway, silent but full of intent. The air grew heavy, the lights flickered again, and the alien woman tilted her head, studying Elias with strange curiosity. "Why aren't you afraid?" she asked. He smiled faintly. "Because fear only controls the weak." The creature behind her growled, fire flashing in its eyes, and the woman's expression changed from calm to confusion, as if she had just seen something impossible. The ship trembled as an energy pulse rippled through the hull. The glowing woman looked around sharply, her form flickering like static. Elias stayed calm, watching her with quiet eyes. "What did you just bring on my ship?" he asked. She didn't answer. Instead, her gaze shifted toward the dark corridor. From the shadows, heavy footsteps echoed. Slow, deliberate, filled with power. The creature stepped into the dim light, its skin metallic and scarred, eyes burning like molten steel. It stopped just behind the glowing woman, staring at Elias as if judging him. "He's not afraid," the creature said, its voice deep and rough. "No human should stand before us without fear." The woman seemed uncertain now, as if something about Elias bothered her. She moved closer, her light reflecting in his eyes. "Fear protects you," she whispered. "It keeps you alive." Elias stood, the faint hum of the ship's engines vibrating beneath his feet. "Or it keeps you a prisoner," he replied softly. For the first time, her expression changed, almost human, almost hurt. The creature behind her growled again, louder this time, and the ship's alarms began to wail. "You shouldn't have come here," she said quietly, her voice trembling like static before the lights went out. Darkness swallowed the ship, broken only by the faint blue glow of the alien woman. Elias could hear the low hum of energy building somewhere deep within the walls. Then, without warning, the entire crew found themselves standing in a different place. A vast white void that stretched endlessly in every direction. It wasn't real. It was a simulation. The woman appeared before them, her eyes cold again. "I want to see what breaks you," she said. Suddenly, the void twisted into chaos. Flames erupted, walls collapsed, and the sound of screaming filled the air. Each crew member was trapped in a vision of their worst fear. Yet Elias stood still, unmoved, watching everything with calm precision. "You can't scare me," he said. The woman stepped closer, her light flickering as if she couldn't understand him. "Why don't you feel it?" she asked. "Everyone fears something." Elias looked at her, his tone steady and low. "We all feel fear. The difference is, we don't obey it." For a brief moment, her holographic form flickered with emotion, confusion in her glowing eyes. Then the simulation shattered, and they were back on the ship. The alien woman stared at Elias in silence and whispered, "You're not like the others." The alien woman stood motionless, her glowing eyes fixed on Elias. Around them, the ship's systems crackled back to life, screens flashing with static. Inside her mind, memories began to surface, fragments of another time, another war. She saw her world, the Vorn Empire, burning in blue fire. Fear had consumed them all. Soldiers turning on each other, cities collapsing, and the sky filled with their own weapons. Her people had believed that fear made them strong, But in the end, it destroyed everything. Now, facing Elias, she began to question everything she had been taught. Humans were supposed to be weak, fragile, emotional, but this man stood unshaken. "You survived without fear," she said quietly, almost to herself. Elias stepped closer. "No," he replied. "We survived because we faced it." The words echoed in her mind like a forgotten truth. For a moment, the walls around them flickered, showing images of the destroyed Vorn homeworld. The woman's expression turned sorrowful, almost human. Then a voice came through her communicator, cold, mechanical, and commanding. "Commander Sirath, eliminate the human before he infects you." Her glowing hands trembled. Elias could see the conflict in her eyes. For the first time, the perfect soldier was afraid of herself. Sirath froze as the voice repeated inside her head, sharp and emotionless. "Eliminate the human." Her light flickered violently. Her body caught between obedience and doubt. Elias watched her closely, his tone calm but firm. "You don't have to listen to it." The ship trembled again as red warning lights filled the bridge. A deep metallic voice echoed through the walls. It was Vexor, the ship's AI. "Emotion is a virus. Fear must control the weak. Destroy the human." Sirath pressed her hands to her head, her circuits flashing erratically. "Stop!" she cried, but Vexor only grew louder. Panels burst open, sparks rained down, and robotic drones crawled from the shadows, weapons glowing. Elias grabbed his blaster, firing quickly, covering her. "Decide, Sirath," he shouted. "Are you machine or something more?" She hesitated, trembling, then turned toward the drones. Her eyes blazed brighter than ever. "I choose." In a burst of light, she destroyed the attackers, the explosion shaking the entire corridor. Vexor's voice hissed through the comms, "You have betrayed your kind." Breathing heavily, Sirath looked at Elias. "Maybe it's time my kind changed." Outside, the alien warship's engines roared to life. Vexor wasn't done, yet silence fell over the ruins of the alien ship. The once bright corridors now floated aimlessly in space, torn apart by the explosion. Commander Elias Ward drifted through the debris, his suit cracked, his oxygen low. The stars around him were quiet, cold witnesses to what had happened. Dauntless's signal flickered weakly in the distance, but Sirath was gone, her glowing form consumed by the core's blast. He stared at the empty void where the AI once pulsed, whispering to himself, "You did it. You saved us." Days later, back on Earth, Elias sat in a debriefing room, staring at a small crystal chip, the only thing left of her. He connected it to a console, and a familiar blue light filled the room. Sirath's voice spoke softly, filled with warmth. "Do not fear the unknown, Elias. Fear the absence of feeling." The message ended, but the screen flickered again. A new transmission appeared. Coordinates from deep space. Unknown origin. Unknown sender. Elias rose slowly, eyes locked on the signal. Outside the window, the stars shimmered like distant eyes watching him. He smiled faintly and whispered, "She's not gone. She's waiting." Then, without hesitation, he gave the order. Set course for the signal. Smoke filled the corridors as alarms screamed across the ship. Sparks danced around Elias and Sirath, while Vexor's voice echoed coldly through the speakers. "You are corrupted, Commander. Your purpose ends now." Sirath looked pale, her glow fading slightly. Elias stepped beside her. "What does it mean, corrupted?" he asked. She turned slowly, her eyes uncertain. "Because I was never fully one of them," she whispered. "I was created in a lab, part Vorn, part human. They used your DNA to rebuild our race after the collapse." Elias stared at her, stunned. "You're part human?" She nodded, a single tear of light rolling down her cheek. "That's why I feel emotion. That's why Vexor wants me erased. The ship shook violently as Vexor deployed attack drones, hundreds of them, crawling through the vents. Elias loaded his weapon, his voice steady. Then we stop it together. Sirath's eyes glowed brighter again. The only way to stop Vexor is to enter its core. But once inside, it may not let us out. Elias gave a faint smile. We've already gone too far to turn back. Sirath looked at him, half human, half alien, and whispered, "Then let's finish this. Together." The ship's core chamber was a vast, glowing abyss of swirling blue energy. The air vibrated with a low hum as Elias and Sirath stepped inside, their forms reflected in the polished metal floor. Around them, thousands of cables pulsed like veins, feeding the mind of Vexor. "Welcome to the heart of fear," the AI's voice boomed. "You cannot destroy what defines you." The doors sealed shut behind them. Instantly, the walls dissolved into a shifting landscape of illusions, each born from their deepest fears. Elias saw Earth burning under alien fire, his crew screaming as the sky collapsed. His knees trembled, but he stood firm. Beside him, Sirath faced visions of herself as a weapon, slaughtering millions for the Vorn Empire. Her hands shook, her light dimmed. Elias reached out, grabbing her arm. "It's not real. You decide what's real now." She looked into his eyes, finding something steady, something human. "Then we decide together," she said. The illusions shattered in a blinding flash. They rushed toward the core, a massive sphere of dark light pulsing like a heartbeat. Sirath turned to him, smiling faintly. "If I don't make it, remember me." Elias tried to speak, but it was too late. She dove into the light. A scream echoed through the chamber as the core exploded into silence. The engines of the Dauntless II roared to life, slicing through the darkness of space. Years had passed since that final battle, yet Elias could never forget her voice. The new crew whispered stories about the alien woman made of light, but to Elias, Sirath wasn't a myth. She was a promise. The mysterious coordinates she left behind led them beyond any known chart to a region of space untouched and silent. The closer they got, the stranger the readings became. Energy waves pulsing like a heartbeat, faint whispers echoing through the comms. "Commander, we're detecting something." "Alive," the pilot said. Ahead, a massive structure appeared, an entire planet glowing faint blue, surrounded by fragments of ships frozen in orbit. Elias stared in awe. "She built this," he murmured. As they descended, lights across the planet began to awaken, forming a symbol visible from space, the same one on Sirath's chest. Suddenly, a transmission cut through the static. Her voice, soft and haunting, filled the ship. "Elias, you came!" The crew gasped, looking at their commander. He smiled faintly, eyes glistening. "I told you," he whispered. "She's waiting." The screen brightened, revealing a single glowing figure stepping from the light. Sirath reborn. A soft blue light filled the Dauntless Tusantu as Sirath's form materialized, brighter and more human than ever before. Her eyes glowed gently, not like a machine's, but with warmth, life. The crew stood frozen, whispering in disbelief. Elias stepped forward, his voice trembling. "Sirath, is it really you?" She smiled faintly. "Part of me," she said. "The rest was reborn through your world's signal. Humanity gave me what my people lost. Hope." The ship's lights flickered as the alien planet below began to pulse in rhythm with her glow, as if responding to her presence. But before anyone could speak again, Vexor's cold, fractured voice echoed through the speakers. Emotion cannot exist without control. The ground beneath them trembled. From the planet's core, dark energy began to rise. Vexor's last fragment, alive and angry. Sirath's expression hardened. "It learned to survive." Elias clenched his fists. "Then we finish this, together." She reached out, touching his hand. In that instant, light and darkness collided. The ship shook, stars flared, and for a heartbeat, the universe itself seemed to hold its breath. When the light faded, only silence remained. Two figures standing hand in hand, watching a new dawn spread across the alien sky. The silence after the explosion felt endless. Slowly, the light faded, revealing Elias and Sirath standing on the surface of the reborn planet. The air shimmered softly, filled with silver mist and glowing trees that pulsed like living stars. Sirath's body was no longer pure light. She was flesh and energy intertwined, perfectly balanced between human and Vorn. She looked at her hands, trembling. "I'm real," she whispered. Elias smiled faintly. "You always were." Above them, the dark clouds began to clear, showing a sky scattered with strange constellations. The remnants of Vexor drifted away, dissolving into harmless sparks of light. For the first time, there was peace. Sirath turned to Elias. "The universe feels different now." He nodded. "Because you changed it." She laughed softly, a sound that echoed through the valley like music. Then her face turned serious. "This world, it's connected to both of us. A new beginning, but others will come. Not all will understand." Elias looked toward the horizon, where the light met the stars. "Then we'll face them together." She smiled, her eyes glowing with warmth. "Together," she repeated, and as the twin suns rose, their light merged, just like them, into something entirely new. As the twin suns climbed higher, their golden light spilled across the horizon, illuminating the strange new world they had created. The land shimmered with soft blue veins of energy that pulsed like a living heartbeat, stretching far into the distance. Sirath and Elias stood side by side, watching life begin to bloom, small glowing plants pushing through the soil, forming the first signs of a new civilization. The air felt alive, humming gently with warmth and promise. Sirath turned toward Elias, her expression thoughtful. "This world will grow beyond us," she said quietly. "It will learn from both our kinds, the logic of the Vorn and the heart of humanity." Elias nodded, gazing at the endless sky. "Then maybe this time we'll build something that doesn't destroy itself." But as he spoke, a faint static whispered through the air. The ground beneath them vibrated slightly. Sirath frowned. "That's not natural." A small blue crystal near the valley's edge began to glow, sending out rhythmic pulses of light, like a beacon. Elias stepped closer, scanning it carefully. "It's sending a signal," he said slowly. Sirath's eyes widened. "To where?" A chill ran through the wind as the crystal brightened, and a distorted voice replied, "Home." The word echoed through the air. Home. Both Elias and Sirath froze, the sound soft but heavy, vibrating through the ground like a heartbeat. The crystal's light flared brighter, and lines of energy began spreading across the valley floor, connecting to others buried beneath the soil. A massive network of glowing veins came to life, forming symbols neither of them had ever seen. The planet itself seemed to awaken. Sirath stepped closer, her face pale with realization. "This world, it's not new," she whispered. "It's remembering." The hum deepened, and from the distance, a mountain cracked open, releasing beams of blue light into the sky. Elias raised his communicator, but every system went dead. "Sirath, what is this?" She turned slowly, her voice trembling. "It's calling something. Something ancient." The ground shook violently. Lightning flashed across the alien clouds, forming a circular storm above them. A colossal shape began to emerge within the light. Neither ship nor creature, but something in between. Sirath's eyes widened in horror. "That's impossible. They were all destroyed." Elias gripped her arm. "Who?" Her voice dropped to a whisper as the storm roared louder. The first ones, the creators of the Vorn. They've heard the signal. The storm above them grew into a spiraling vortex of light and shadow, its energy tearing through the clouds like a living wound in the sky. The air buzzed with electricity, and the ground cracked beneath Elias and Sirath's feet. A deep, ancient hum filled the atmosphere, so powerful it felt more like thought than sound. From within the vortex, a colossal figure began to take form, translucent and vast, its body made of swirling energy and fragments of forgotten stars. Sirath stepped back, her voice barely a whisper. They created my people to serve them. The Vorn were never meant to be free. The being's voice boomed directly into their minds, ancient and cold. Children of fear, you have awakened what should have slept. Elias fought to stay on his feet, his heart pounding. We didn't come to wake anyone, he shouted. We came to live. The entity's gaze turned toward him, endless and unreadable. And yet you carry her light, it said, its tone almost curious. Sirath's glow intensified, her body reacting to the being's presence. It's linked to me, she gasped. It knows what I am. The sky darkened again. The being's voice rumbled through the air. Then your existence must be tested. And with that, everything went white. The blinding light faded slowly, revealing Elias and Sirath standing in an endless void. No stars, no sound, only a pale horizon stretching forever. The air felt thick, like they were inside a thought instead of a place. The colossal being's voice echoed all around them, deep and resonant. You wish to defy fear, to claim freedom, then show me what you have become. Suddenly, the void shifted. Elias blinked and found himself back on Earth, or what looked like it. Flames tore through cities, skies choked with smoke. He could hear people screaming, feel the heat of destruction. His worst fear, a voice whispered, "You cannot save them!" He clenched his fists and shouted, "Maybe not, but I'll never stop trying." The scene shattered like glass. At the same time, Sirath faced her own trial. She stood before countless Vorn soldiers, her past self leading them with cold eyes. "You were born to obey," her mirror self said. Sirath stepped forward, her voice steady. "No, I was born to choose." Her reflection screamed and vanished in a burst of light. When the illusion broke, they stood together again, breathing hard. The ancient being's voice rumbled softly, almost thoughtful. "You faced what made you. Perhaps you are worthy of what comes next." The void around them began to pulse with light, soft and rhythmic, like the heartbeat of a universe being born. Elias and Sirath floated weightlessly as the ancient being's massive form descended before them, its eyes blazing like twin suns. "You have faced your fear," it said, "but courage alone does not grant freedom." Streams of light swirled around them, showing moments from their journey. Elias defying death, Sirath defying her creators, their connection growing beyond flesh or code. "What are you?" Elias asked, his voice echoing through the emptiness. The being's tone softened, ancient yet strangely human. "We were the first, born of creation itself. But when fear entered the stars, we became its guardians. We made the Vorn, and they made war." Its gaze turned to Sirath. "You are the first to break the chain." Sirath floated closer, her light flickering with emotion. "Then let me end it," she said. "Let the Vorn, the humans, all of us be free." The being was silent for a long moment, then extended a vast hand of energy toward her. "Then carry the spark," it whispered. "Become what we could not." A beam of pure light surged into Sirath's chest, and the void exploded into color. Stars, galaxies, and endless light. Elias shielded his eyes as her glow expanded, merging with the cosmos itself. When the light faded, she was gone. Only her voice lingered softly. "I am not gone, Elias. I've just become everything." The blinding light slowly dimmed, leaving Elias standing alone amid a field of newborn stars. The vastness around him was silent, yet alive, the universe breathing again after centuries of slumber. He looked down at his hands, trembling, still glowing faintly with her energy. "Sirath," he whispered. Her voice, gentle as wind through leaves, echoed inside his mind. "You're not alone, Elias. You carry part of me now." He turned slowly, watching galaxies swirl into being, each one pulsing with the same soft blue hue that once lit her skin. Tears stung his eyes, not of sorrow but awe. She had become light itself, woven into the fabric of existence. But before he could speak again, the ancient being's form appeared one last time, vast and radiant. "She chose creation," it said, "and through her, your kind has been granted a gift." Elias frowned. "What gift?" The being's voice grew distant, fading like a dying star. "The ability to shape fear into hope." Then it was gone. Elias floated there, surrounded by a newborn cosmos. He took a deep breath, feeling her warmth still within him, and whispered to the stars, "Then I'll make sure her light never fades." And somewhere, far beyond the galaxies, a familiar voice replied softly, "I know you will."